Sauna Sisters podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be considered legal, health or professional advice. Thank you for listening.
Hello and welcome to Sauna Sisters podcast. I'm Jen.
And I'm Sarah.
And we are two women brought together through a love of open water swimming, sauna and honest conversations about health and well-being whilst we navigate the menopause ourselves. We're at the beautiful Quay Sauna and Lake in Mitchett, and this time we are joined by wellness expert Corrina Morris. Together we will be sharing experiences and conversations around women's health, well-being and the different way in which we support ourselves and each other through midlife. So whether you're listening after a swim, on a walk, or just taking a quiet moment for yourself, we're really glad you joined us for another Sauna Sisters conversation.
And so welcome, Corrina. So if I just explain, so Corrina, you're a Feng Shui consultant.
That's right.
And you help women mainly, is it?
It is mainly women.
Yeah.
I think women are more open to this than men.
Create a calm and balanced flow in the home. Is that how you would sort of describe what you do?
Yes, I would. I would just say that it's kind of creating that calm energy in the home that we all crave, especially everyone seems to have such busy lives, whether you're a parent or you're a parent of a crazy dog like I am as well. We just want that calm in the home, and with the help of Feng Shui, I can literally help to create all that calm, but also look after all different parts of your life as well.
Yeah. So we met, didn't we, at a ladies' networking event?
That's right.
And I was really interested because I think I've always sort of thought as, I think my view of Feng Shui is probably quite traditional.
Yes.
So when you actually sort of explained a bit about what you do, it sort of had a different take on it to what I sort of remembered, because obviously it's been around a long time. And I think I sort of first heard about it probably in the 90s or so. But you're now more on a modern take, is that?
Yes. Well, it's not to say what you looked into in the 90s was incorrect. It's just that there's over 100, I think it's like over 120 different schools of Feng Shui.
Wow.
So they're all practicing in a slightly different way. It's a little bit like, I suppose, hairdressers. Everyone's going to go and get their hair cut, but everyone's been trained in a slightly different way. And we will practice in different ways with Feng Shui. So the way that I have trained, trust me to have picked probably one of the most difficult ways of learning it, and it's very, very intense, but it is known to be one of the most accurate ways of practicing Feng Shui, because we look at the compass details. So we're looking at your home geographically, where it sits geographically, whereas more traditional ways of Feng Shui, of practicing Feng Shui, would be when we're mapping somebody's home and we're looking at all the different areas of the home. Everybody's door would be the north, and then they would map the rest of the home from there. But the way that we are taught and the way that I practice now, it's a much more bespoke way. So I feel that I'm giving you really bespoke results, I guess, because your north might not be your front door, it might be your side door, it might be the back door. So when I'm talking about these compass details and sort of mapping your home, I just want to explain a bit about that, because otherwise it's not going to make any sense whatsoever.
Well, I was going to say, for somebody that's sort of never even perhaps heard of Feng Shui, or has just gone, oh, it's some mumbo jumbo over there, all of a sudden you're talking about mapping our house. Should we rewind a little bit and you explain what you kind of, what is Feng Shui and what this mapping is?
Absolutely. So as I was saying, Feng Shui is all to do with the energy in your home. So everybody knows that there's energy all around us, and we've got energy in our bodies, and maybe if you want to go and look into Reiki and things like that, then that's going to help with you, the person. But we sort of fail to sort of think that actually there is energy in our homes, and if that energy gets blocked maybe in a particular area, or maybe it's not flowing quite as nicely and it gets a little bit stuck, then it can actually impact certain parts of your life. And so what I do is I help to shift and clear that energy by working one-to-one with that client, getting lots of details to do with that person, what they're going through in their life, and obviously all the details to do with their home. So when we talk about mapping the home, I would be looking at your floor plans.
Okay.
I would be taking very specific details to do with your home, such as the date it was built. Have you had an extension? Have you had a brand new roof? The reason why I ask you if you've had a brand new roof is because if you take off the roof, it's like taking off a lid to a Tupperware dish. That releases all that energy from when the house was built.
Yeah.
Then you replace it with a brand new roof, and then you're locking in a brand new energy. So we look at all of this stuff, and then we map that home into 9 areas. So I will tell you what those 9 compass areas are and where they are in your home and what they mean. And so some of those areas are things like your health, your well-being, which is obviously what we're talking about today, but it could be your career, your success, your wealth, your family, and so on. And so that's what I do. I just help to shift the energy in those different areas to help it flow. And some people might not necessarily have an issue in a particular part of their life, but they just want to create that calm. Sometimes people's homes don't quite feel right and they can't put their finger on why. And so that's where I come in.
Oh, lovely.
So if we're going to talk about the health, so if we talk about women's health and well-being, whereabouts in the I think you've got 9 sort of the grid, is it?
Yes.
Whereabouts does that come on there?
So that's the centre of your home.
Okay.
So this is for all floors of the home that you're living on. So you don't include your loft if you're not obviously living in the loft, if you haven't extended that area. So all floors that you live on, try to roughly find where the centre is, because this looks after your physical health, your mental health, and just your general overall well-being, and also for your self-acceptance too. And so that's what that area looks after.
Okay. So how did you first find Feng Shui? How did you start to weave it into your life, and how did you arrive being a Feng Shui consultant?
I know, because everybody asks me, and it's crazy. I have just started this business literally a couple of years ago. So I was 43 when I started this brand new business, and when I was learning all about this. But my background, I suppose it was in well-being. I was a beauty therapist for many years, over 25 years, but I was also a makeup artist in TV. So I guess my background was always helping people. And all my clients would constantly say to me, oh, you're like my therapist. You know, it's a bit like hairdressers. And I just loved helping people so much. But 13 years ago, I went through a trauma. And so during that time, I then went through my own journey, this complete self-discovery kind of thing. And I went through lots of healing. I went through a lot of depression, PTSD, you know, all of that. And rather than going to sort of your normal kind of counselling, I just liked everything to be a bit more, well, not woo-woo obviously, but I
a bit
just
more natural.
And so I just went down my own route and found, you know, what worked for me. And sort of throughout that journey, after a lot of healing, it made me start to think, I want to do something else, and I feel like I've got more in me to help people in another way. But I just didn't know what it was at that point, and that must be sort of 9 or 10 years ago. And I think I was still going through a lot of trauma, and I had to go through a lot of healing within that time and self-discovery. And so I went on various different courses. I trained in meditation, and I don't know if you've heard of tapping, EFT tapping, so that's emotional freedom technique. I did all of that. And then on one of these particular courses, I met this incredible lady, and she was talking about Feng Shui. And I thought, well, I've heard that name. I mean, it's been around for over 4,000 years. But to be quite honest with you, back then I didn't really believe in it, and I didn't really understand it. I didn't understand how energy worked, but that was a very long time ago. And I just really engaged with this lady. I really thought we're very similar, we're very alike, and I liked how she put this modern twist on things. And it wasn't all about having to move furniture around and physically having to go into people's homes. And I thought, oh, this is like a different way of doing it. This is really interesting. And to be honest, I wasn't thinking of doing this myself. I thought, well, yeah, I could do with a bit of that in my house. You know, 2 children and a dog, as I say, and my husband. And I thought, I definitely need some of this. And fast forward, she then said she had a course coming up. And my husband said, you've got to do it, Corrina, because you would be so amazing at doing this. And I laughed and I said, oh no, I'm probably going to go and do something else. And he went, you have to do this. So I kind of owe this to him, really.
What a supportive hubby.
So here I am now. I trained in it. I literally signed up at midnight that night. I said, right, how do I sign up onto your course? And that was it. And here I am now.
Yeah, I mean, your story really tallies with sort of my own exploration into working with energy as a Reiki healer and sound healer, is that I kind of had to go through the journey myself to fully understand it. If you'd have asked me 20 years ago, like you said, I'd have been, what a load of woo-woo. But it's not until, you know, you feel it and you practice it and then you can see it in motion that you can really connect with it. So when I looked into Feng Shui quite a few years ago, and like you said, it was about making sure your bed was in the right place and mirrors in the right place and plants and knickknacks and all this sort of thing. But that all sounds like that's a little bit simplified and outdated. So
it's not necessarily outdated. There are still things that we can do with furniture placements, but it's not what I necessarily go into somebody's home and do. So yes, I can go into somebody's home and do a very bespoke one-to-one analysis, but I tend to do more of this remotely. And the reason why I love to be able to do this remotely is because I can reach so many more people all over the world. At the moment, I'm working with somebody that's in America.
Wow.
Now we do a lot of video calls. We take, well, she would obviously be sending me lots of photographs of the outside of the home, maybe certain rooms of the home. And once I've taken all of this information to do with that particular house, that's when I've gathered up all that information and I can work out exactly what the energy is doing in each part of the home. That's when the remedies come in.
Now, remedies.
It's not witchy potions and things like that. And it's not a ton of knickknacks that people walk into your home and go, oh, she's had her house feng shui. Like if you came into my home, you wouldn't have a clue. But we use the elements. So we're using things like metal. And when people say metal or think of metal, you think, oh my God, I'm not having metal in my home. But it's one of the most powerful remedies that there is in Feng Shui because it's so grounding, it's very neutralizing of any negative energy, but that can be hidden. So that's all under my couch and you wouldn't know that that was there, but it's doing its job.
So what have you got under your couch?
Metal weights.
Literally just metal weights?
Absolutely, because that's what I need in that particular area. Because it might show some negativity there. It might show that there's such a block in that area that it needs some of the metal. It could be things like water because you need that flow and that movement. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a running tap all day long. It's a picture of flowing water. It could be a plant for that growth energy and various other things, which I'm not going to go into all now. But they are the things. And so you would go into my home or anybody's home that I've feng shuied and you literally wouldn't have a clue because it is so subtle and it can fit in with everyday life. So once those remedies are in, generally that's enough to settle the energy and to have that energy supporting you in each area of your life. Now, if after, say, a few months, because it really can depend on how long it takes for that energy to settle, because everybody's home is completely different. Some you might see some shifts within a month, some maybe 4 months. It just depends. But let's say if it was your house And we'd placed all those remedies, but still, maybe after a few months, you were struggling with a specific thing. That's when we'd get back on the phone. Maybe we'd do a video call and say, okay, let me have a really good look at that particular area. And I might notice something. It could be like artwork, or it could be, I don't know, just as an example, let's say your kitchen was the center of your home. And your health was really impacted. If you had very sharp knives out on show, like in a knife block, like I used to before I learnt Feng Shui, or on one of those magnetic strips, I would then notice that straight away and say, right, let's try moving those knives away, because the knives are sharp, edgy. It's kind of creating a tension energy, and that's not necessarily great for the health. So there's lots of different things that we can do. But like when you say with the furniture placement, this is definitely something that I did do in my own home, and I can't tell you how much it helped just for my daughter. Because night after night she would come in without fail having really terrible nightmares. She would wake me all the time, and she was in a high-rise bed purely because she was in the tiniest bedroom, so we wanted to create that space underneath for her to play. So one, she was in a very high-rise bed and she's got a massive void underneath. So energetically, she's not feeling supported. But mainly her head was behind the door, if you like. So she can't ever see who's coming in. So that can create an anxiety. So we just lowered the bed right down. We flipped her head around. Well, not flipped her head around. But we flipped the way that her head was positioned. And I'm not even joking you. Touch wood, and there's a lot of wood in this lovely sauna. But she's not come in with a bad dream. She will chat a lot in her sleep, but not once has she had a bad dream since then. And I cannot believe the differences.
So I'm thinking, because my children, they're much older now, but I had both had those in high-rise beds for similar reasons, but they could see the door. So both of them could see the door, so maybe that's why they kind of like were a bit more, knew what was coming.
Quite possibly.
Yeah, amazing.
Can I ask, what do women mainly come to you for? Is there a certain thing? Is it to do with their health? Is it to do with any anxiety? Or
there can be a lot of anxiety there. Generally it's for people that just really want to create a lot more calm and balance within the home. I get a lot of mums that come to me as well. Obviously there's a lot of chaos within the homes. But also what I've noticed within the last year, and the energies that are in at the moment, are a very feminine type of energy, and it's really creating this massive shift in women. So I've got a lot of women that are either going through a lot of changes, whether it's in their marriage, within their relationships, and they want the support there, or it's with their career and they want different career sort of help with their career and creating new things. But you know, a lot of people just want that really good health for the whole of their family, and pets included.
And I suppose that one of the things is that we all want to be able to come home, it be our safe space, our calm space, that we can just shut the door and actually just be ourselves as well. And I suppose if there's lots of other things going on in the home, then maybe that doesn't have that feeling when they get home.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the main areas that I would say, apart from obviously taking a good look at the center of the home, is look at the bedroom, because that is going to be your calm, safe space. And that's really where you want to be able to have that energy, so it's really supportive of you having a really restful night's sleep. A lot of people that are struggling with anxiety are not necessarily sleeping as well, and obviously that's what I've personally gone through, and I struggled massively with my sleep. So apart from me going through and using guided meditations to help me go to sleep, and I still do that now, some really good things to have a look at is what's underneath your bed. Now, if you've got space to put something under your bed in drawers and things like that, what are you putting in there? Are there some sharp objects? Have you kept some electrical items, things like that? There was a lady that it must have been one of those beds that you lift. I can't think what that's called.
You lift them up. And
you
then
lift
you
it up.
put the
I
storage
can't think
under.
of the name.
Yeah.
And she kept her skis under the bed because it was just an easy place to put them.
Yeah.
But then she was wondering why she was having so much anxiety and sleepless nights. Well, it's that energy. It's sharp, it's edgy, and whatever is underneath your bed is rising up towards the person that's sleeping in it. So in an ideal world, what's under your bed would be soft linens, maybe clothing, towels, bedding, that kind of thing. So
What about your suitcases?
probably not your actual suitcases. That what's under your...
That's what's under my bed, yeah. Is that not a good idea?
But the thing is, if you sleep well, then that's fine. If you're struggling, then start to have maybe a little shift around. Somebody also placed a broken mirror under there. And again, she didn't want to get rid of it. It was her grandmother's mirror. And so she felt bad to get rid of it. So she thought, oh, I'll just keep it, but put it under the bed. And again, it's that broken energy, and it's not that great. So
That's really interesting to hear, because I know that's one of the traditional things was about you shouldn't have anything under your bed. But at least if you're saying you could put your spare pillows or duvet, the winter duvets or whatever, at least people can still keep something under their bed.
Yes.
Quite often now beds have drawers in them, and and then you feel, well, if I'm not using my space, so it's good to know that you can put something under these.
Oh, absolutely.
It kind of leads me through to as well clutter. So there's a lot around, whether it be from Feng Shui or just general, that it's that whole cluttered home, cluttered mind.
Yes.
Clutter stops the flow of energy, clutter gets in your way and distracts you. So how would you tackle general life clutter in somebody's home?
Well, I'm not a professional declutterer.
No.
But I do know people that are. And so either if you're in that situation, I can definitely, recommend people.
Yeah.
However, if you're going to do this process yourself, I always say, do not look at your entire house as a whole. Like, otherwise you would just be completely overwhelmed. Look at one room or look at one specific area. So those 9 areas that I talk about, maybe if you think, right, well, I am struggling with my health, then start in the centre. Try and roughly guess what the centre is of your home, and then have a good look around. Have I got tons and tons of clutter here? And if so, what can I maybe just reduce or maybe gift to somebody, or things like that. It's also looking at broken items. So if you've got chipped mugs or cups, things like that, it's that broken energy. So it's not creating that flow.
Okay.
But I think it is exactly what you just said. If you've got that clutter in the home, and especially in the centre, it's that cluttered mind. So
we're like, all your surfaces beautifully
no,
clean.
absolutely not. We've got to be realistic, and that's what I like about this type of Feng Shui. We are realistic. There are some more traditional ways of Feng Shui that will literally say, you can't have that wall there, you've got to knock it down. Well, I can't go around telling my clients that. So no, it doesn't have to be pristine. We've all got to live, as but it's just, okay, if I am struggling, have I suddenly got tons and tons of bills all stacked up and not moving? And then you might wonder why your wealth area is struggling.
All right. Okay.
So there's certain things that you can look at, but I would definitely just say start in one area and maybe choose one cupboard or one drawer at a time. And definitely put a timer on it, because otherwise you could really go down a rabbit hole. You could find old photos and sit there for hours, and then you realise you've done nothing.
Fair play. Yeah, absolutely. So if someone's listening to this, as I say, our demographic is very much around midlife women, and they're thinking, oh, I like a bit of sound of this, I've found the centre of my home. Have you got like 2 or 3 sort of like top tips, something that they could just do to bring a little bit of balance to themselves?
Yeah, so one of the first things that I would suggest doing to get that energy flowing in your home is literally every single day, start by opening the back doors of your home or the back windows. What that's doing is that's releasing any negative or stagnant energy in the home. And then open the front door. Front door is where all that beautiful positive energy comes in through, and that's where you're getting all those new opportunities, all that new growth, that abundance, that's all coming in through the front of your home. Now obviously if you're in an apartment, you've only got that front door or those front windows, and I've got this in my workspace too, so I will still do this in my workspaces. I just open up that front door and I will just say, allow all this stagnant or negative energy to leave, and I give it a few moments, and then I will say, right, now allow all that positive energy to come in and flow around. You could use some sage and literally go around very carefully burning some sage. If you're not into that, you could use a sage spray, or even just literally holding a candle, but be very, very careful that you don't burn anything, and just take that candle around and it's literally just burning off any of that energy. Alternatively, some people will play energy cleansing music in their home as well. So you can, I think you can find that on Spotify and
It's
things
at certain
like
frequencies,
that.
isn't
I think
it?
so, and different vibrations. So you could do things like that just to literally get started.
And they're quite simple, aren't they? I mean, I'm a great smudger. I do that all the time. I didn't realise that was so closely linked with, you know, a practice such as Feng Shui. I sort of see it coming much more from a shamanic sort of area, but it's interesting that there's that crossover that you say sage as well.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely. Yeah. And so once you've then worked out what those 9 areas are and where they are, I should say, in your home, you can place some really beautiful affirmations. So either just write some nice little affirmations down, and no one has to see them. They can just be put on a piece of paper and folded away in that specific area. Or you can just place some pictures if you work better with visuals. Yeah. I have got a free download on my website or on my social media.
Yeah. We'll put the link.
Yeah, and so that will show you all about those 9 areas and the sort of things you can do.
Yeah, get that download and give it a go. My husband will think I'm almost crazier than I am already. But you know, the thing with energy and energy flow is it is something that's got to be felt, isn't it? And if you are at home and, like Sarah said, you're not feeling like you're in a safe place, you're not feeling that when you close that door at the end of the day you can relax and be calm and good, then energy is off. You can feel that it's off because you're not in that space. So by, as you say, doing some, you know, really simple things like the opening of the doors front and back, maybe the saging, maybe these affirmations or photos in the right place, they will be able to feel that calm. And that's really valid at the end of the day, isn't it? To be able to come and go, and, you know, get, you know, and then you're refreshed and restored before you go again. So
I think what you said about actually sleeping, I think sleep is one of the most underrated health benefits in our world. You know, I don't think we talk about it enough, but if you're not sleeping properly, it affects everything else that you do. So actually those little tips that, you know, you've said about the bedroom as well, I think.
It really does. And I think as well, something else that you can look at in your bedroom is just making sure that those colours that you have in your bedroom are really quite calming, maybe earthy, more grounding sorts of colours. Obviously, if you like your bed covers to be quite busy and colourful, maybe just at night time have a throw over the bed so that it's really neutralising. Yeah. So it's just really earthy colours so that it naturally tells your brain, I'm now really calm and peaceful.
That's a really good tip. I like that. Yeah, because people do like colours. You know, everyone's different. But if you've got something you can just put over, you know, a plain sheet or anything, just to calm it down when you actually get into bed.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, this is all fascinating. I could talk about it for ages.
Yeah. The thing is, people can just put some small little changes in their home, and maybe for some people that's just enough.
Yeah.
But if after maybe a little while you're still feeling like you're stuck in a particular area, then that's obviously when they can call me and I can help them more. And I can really see that energy, what's going on, just by taking those details to do with their house, their home, I should say.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think, I don't know if you're the same, but I kind of, I begin to not see the clutter in my, you know, you walk past things over and over again and actually they probably shouldn't be there, and and they may be affecting your energy. But
Yeah.
I think we do sort of get a bit blind to what we see every day as well.
Oh,
sometimes.
absolutely.
So having a fresh pair of eyes, actually look at your home is probably a really good idea.
Yeah. And me included. It was only because we had a pipe burst over the Christmas holidays, which was great fun, that literally forced me and my husband to clear out a particular area, because we obviously needed to get to this pipe, and he had held on to a lot of stuff. And I said, right, today's the day we are decluttering big time. And it honestly felt so incredible. And there will be some great shifts from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Oh, wow.
Brilliant.
So, are you ready to go and have
No.
a little sauna?
Yes, I'm ready for a sauna. I'm not ready for a dip.
Well, we will look after you and we'll take it nice and slowly, and then we shall see how you got on the other side.
Amazing.
So have you done a sauna and dip before?
No, never.
Never. Okay, so this is a
This is
new
a first?
experience.
Wow, we've converted
And-
most people.
Yeah, it is a little windy today, so we will. It's not the warmest of days, but we will see how we get on.
Okay.
And as we've said, it's a very personal thing. You do what is comfortable for you, and see how far you get.
Okay.
That's brilliant.
Oh, we will see you in the sauna.
Okay, so we have sauna and dips.
We have.
And Corrina, how did you get on?
I was brave in the end. And
You were.
I managed to just get to my knee to start with. And then after a few attempts, I actually got completely in.
You did.
So I'm proud of myself.
We're proud of
There
you.
might have been a little scream, but
Oh, you're so good. And the reason why we've come and hid at the outside of the sauna today is because the wind is whipping across the lake today, and there are actual waves on the lake.
Yeah.
So it's not like you had to get into a beautiful, serene lake. You actually had to go in against the wind. So well done. Well done.
Brilliant, Dave. Yeah, really well done. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you the questions that we ask everybody, and that is, when you start your sauna, do you want to start on a hot or a cold?
I think it depends on the day, doesn't it, with the weather.
Yeah.
And I think probably a day like today, where it has been really cold with that wind, I definitely want to maybe start in the water first, so I'm not too boiling hot, and
Okay.
then just get in the water.
Yeah.
And then
So today we started hot, didn't we?
We
So you
started
think
hot.
that actually you would
I
prefer
think-
to start.
maybe because it's such a shock
Yeah.
to the body.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and a lot
Because
of
you're
people
so
do.
hot.
Yeah, a lot of people do start on the cold.
But then if it
Yeah.
was a really, really hot summer's day and you were starting in the sauna, then it's quite refreshing.
Yeah.
But today it was gale force winds, wasn't it? So
Still is.
It is. What about ending on a hot or a cold?
for me, definitely on a hot. Because I'm just such a coldy person.
Yes, fair enough. Fair enough. We get a
Yeah.
real mixed response with that. So yeah, I
we
think
do. Yeah.
I think everyone's got their own little preference as
Yeah.
to how they want to end. So yeah, good.
And so, is there one health habit that you do, but you don't love?
Oh, well, not that I do. I thought the question was actually a health habit that you wish you loved.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. So I had actually thought this through, and I was going to say the gym, but actually now I'm going to say this. I wish I loved it so that I could really, do this more.
Yeah.
Maybe it will be something over time that I'm going to get used to, because this is
Yeah.
something I really, really would love to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good.
Yeah.
We'll take that. We'll take
Because I
that.
think as the water warms up, actually, it becomes easier to do that dip
Yeah.
bit.
It does.
And if you're quite a cold person, then yeah,
Yes.
probably, you're starting it at the right time. Yeah,
Amazing.
yeah, definitely.
Well, here we go. You never know.
Never know. So if you're coming towards the end of the day at home, what simple pleasure do you like at the end of a day?
It is really simple. I just literally watch about an hour of TV, and it could be
Yeah.
really trash TV, but that is just my simple pleasure.
Yeah.
Having that time, and also just to catch up with my husband, because
Yeah.
it's just, you never really get that time to just chill,
Nice.
really.
Yeah. No, you're not the first person to have said a bit
Oh,
of good trash
really?
TV.
I know,
Yeah.
I do love a bit
Nothing
of
wrong with
trash.
that. Yeah.
It's a guilty pleasure.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so, is there anything that you're doing now in your midlife that you never thought you would do?
Let me see, what did I write down? Oh, Well, meditation is definitely something.
Yeah.
I never thought that I would get into doing something like that when I was much younger, but it's something that I definitely do and love now.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. And you were saying earlier that you actually use that quite a lot, for going to bed and
Absolutely.
and
That's always
taking that.
yeah. It's always my bedtime, my sleep routine. So, but it's what helps me and it's what I love doing.
Oh, that's really lovely. That's really lovely.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so
having
much
me
for
on.
joining us on Sauna Sisters.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And all that's left to say is that we hope you've enjoyed the episode and that maybe you've found something you can take away with you and put into your routine over the next few weeks. And all that's left to say is we'll
See you in the sauna.
You have been listening to the Sauna Sisters, who are Sarah Shobsall at Sarah Shobsall Nutrition and Jen Hansford at Balance and Breathe. We would like to thank our sauna hosts, Key Sauna, and we would also like to thank our guest, Corrina Morris of Guiding Stars Feng Shui. We would also like to thank our content creators, Cole Jackson at CJ Jacko and Alfie at ATL Studios. Thank you for listening.